All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of our old farmhouse. It is the first week of June 2024, and we are out here just to give a quick update on how everything's growing, how everything's doing. And of course, I have my helper here, fresh back from getting some snacks up at the dollar store. We had to take our bike.
Papa don't want to grow.
What, Atlas?
Papa no fear wants to no grow. You don't want to grow. You just want to grow. You just want to grow.
Oh, there's a bunny.
Papa want to grow. Papa no want to grow.
What are these?
Pumpkins.
These aren't pumpkins.
What's that?
They're what?
Tomato.
Potatoes.
Yeah.
Say potatoes.
No one.
We got potatoes out here growing.
Potatoes are no healthy. You didn't grow healthy food.
Potatoes aren't healthy, or they are healthy?
No healthy.
Oh man, better not eat too many. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, okay. I got
We
here.
have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 containers out here.
I need more grow
potatoes.
plants. Yeah.
Yeah, our plan was to get quite a few more, but we haven't had time to. It's a big year this year.
Yes, you're plants.
For those of you who don't know, our oldest graduated high school. So we have an open house coming up for that. I switched positions with my work. Chris is working lots of hours. Atlas graduated preschool, so she's school age now. Lots of fun going on. So yeah, sadly, we just haven't had all the time that we wanted to out here so far.
And be a bug stay.
And of course, it's spring, so it's really wet outside, meaning that it's taking a lot of time to mow and trim and all of that kind of stuff. But still, we want to get out here and give you guys a tour. Right?
Yeah, and me a bug day and me fall on my bike.
Yep, you fell off your bike.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what do we got out here growing?
Oh, it's starting to know, you don't know when you put it on.
What are these called? You know what these are called.
Pumpkins.
Pumpkins. We have a whole row here of pumpkins. These things have like tripled in size the
Yeah, we
last
got
week.
ants. Ants like plants.
Ants and plants. Kind of rhyme.
Ants make plants.
They don't make plants, but they live with plants. These here are all a market variety pumpkin that we grow, and then we sell these out at a market stand out at the end of the road.
Yeah.
We still have a second half of our potatoes to get in.
What?
Honestly, we probably won't have time this spring.
Yep, and me raccoon last year.
Oh yeah, there was a dead raccoon out by the road last year. We had to get it, and what do we do with it?
In the woods.
We chucked it in the woods.
Yeah.
It had been dead for a long time.
Yeah, all day, and me out.
Who's that? All right, so as we jump back over the other side of our property, we'll go ahead and do a quick walk around. As you can see, there's lots of stuff happening over here. Also, lots of projects that still aren't done. Peach trees, still doing fantastic. I want to say, particularly this one here has grown at least a foot. This one here, probably close to 6 inches. And from last time I showed you guys the cherry trees, there was no vegetation growing on it, no foliage, nothing. And as you can see, these are starting to fill in. So I know a lot of people said they thought they were dead. That's why you don't listen, give them a little time. I've been treating them with an all-natural fungicide. As you can see, most of the issues have resolved because these were looking really bad. And I'll honestly be kind of surprised if they do fruit this year. Like I said, we've had them fruit 2 years ago and 3 years ago. And then last year we really didn't get any fruit because of the fungal issue that was going on. But I think that's cleared up. And I'm hoping we'll have a great season with them. Fingers crossed. Moving over this direction here, we got 3 blueberry bushes in. As you can see, those are already producing some blueberries, all from Family Farm and Home. Raspberry plant still doing fantastic. Again, I had someone comment in our last update video at the beginning of May that I should cut this branches off here because they look dead, and as you can see, they're filling in with foliage. This one here, of course, can get trimmed along with these ones here, but that's why it's important to give things a little bit of time. Sometimes it just needs a few weeks to kind of establish, and once it's growing, it goes really well. This bed here, we have pumpkins growing, smaller like pie pumpkins. Corn is doing pretty good. I gotta say, sometimes I don't like the way that it looks, especially with its location, but I have to say it's doing better than what it has in most prior years, so not gonna complain too much. As we continue to walk around, our tomato plants over here have doubled in size since I showed you guys last time. Corn's more than doubled. This is a dwarf variety, so it's supposed to come into harvest quite a bit sooner. These pepper plants are all bell pepper plants, and they are just struggling. Not exactly sure what's going on with them. As we continue around the hoop house, still have nothing planted in this container here. We have onions growing here, garlic growing here, which my wife has already harvested some of the garlic stalks to dry in our dehydrator and to use as seasoning. Flower bed over here, it's doing great. I had some pictures, I'll post them in here, of the bleeding hearts, and we had some purple ones that were growing over here, but they've already kind of died off. And I'm not a flower expert, so I don't even remember what all we planted in here, but we packed this bed full of flowers. And they all bloom at different times of the year, so it's kind of nice. Over here is our herb bed with basil, garlic. We have basil, parsley, those kind of things growing in here. We had lettuce growing in here, but we had a couple of really freak heavy rainstorms, which has really caused a lot of havoc on that. I honestly don't think we planted anything in this one yet. Not sure what my wife planted here. Here are her wax peppers, some more bell peppers, and tomatoes that just needed a spot. And then I had planted squash and zucchini seeds out here, thinking that this would kind of overfill and kind of go around the driveway. Unfortunately, they have not taken off, and it's well past time that it should have, so not sure what's going on there. As we continue to walk around the house, we got most of the rocks in around the house. We just have a small section over here. We're doing some outdoor lights that are up there. We're still working on those. My wife, she's trimmed up the bushes out here, and like normal, she kind of tosses it in the yard, but that's okay. I'll come around and get it. We have some flowers over here growing, and you can see this is kind of where the rocks stop, so we gotta get another load of rocks in. It's another peach tree. Vivian and I planted this one, and no, actually Atlas and I planted this one, and when we planted it 2 years ago, it was about that tall, so it's grown quite a bit. This over here on the end, kind of the lighter green, is the one that Vivian and I planted. This is one that we grew from a seed, and we just thought, you know, what the heck, let's plant it out here, and that's been about 4 years. So I talk about this in one of my other videos, but one of the very first things you should do if you want to plant trees or you want to homestead is to get them in the ground as soon as possible. Don't just throw them in anywhere, have a plan, but make sure that you get them out there and you get them in the ground as soon as possible, because they do take a long time to grow, especially if you're growing them from seeds, which you kind of want to avoid because you run into an issue with not getting the same exact fruit from the seeds that you planted from. So don't save apple seeds and plant them. Make sure that if you're going to do that, go online and shop around for reputable seeds that are going to grow into the type of fruit tree that you actually want. Otherwise, it's going to taste horrible and you're going to run into a whole bunch of issues. As we continue to loop around back into the hoop house, these here are all bell pepper plants. I want to say they've almost doubled in size since I showed you guys last. We have tomato plants in here. We're going to try them again one more time this year to see how they will do in the hoop house. This one's empty, and these over here are strawberries with a lot of grass growing in the back. And to be completely honest, it's kind of been neglected out here in the hoop house with that grass on the side. I'm not exactly sure what I can do to get rid of it without harming the plastic. So I don't know if you have any ideas, leave them in the comments. Otherwise, we're just gonna be in there pulling weeds, and it's not gonna be fun because in the daylight, it gets incredibly hot in there. As we continue over, this is our old greenhouse, which was a Harbor Freight greenhouse that we purchased through a separate distributor. And that distributor, I don't know, claimed it was the same exact, and it really is. And I want to say we've had this out here for 4 years, and this is what it looks like. And it's kind of looked like this since last year. The only issue is I definitely would get rid of this if I had the time, first off. And secondly, these panels here, if you touch them, they literally just fall apart. So it's kind of become a spot where we've thrown a lot of kind of crap in there. Kind of while we wait to figure out what we're gonna do with it. So we're not exactly sure. But this is Bram's apple tree. It's been planted out here for about 4 years. He picked this out on his own, and funny story, he got it out here and was in such a big hurry to get it planted that he dug the hole and actually got this planted before I could get out here and help him. I mean, I think we were home like 30 minutes. And when he planted it, unfortunately, it planted a little bit crooked. So to help fix that, we've kind of ratchet strapped it up. So hopefully it'll start growing a little bit straighter. I figured if we did that for a year or two, I was hoping it would take care of any issues that we'd have moving forward with it. But an apple tree is an apple tree, and it'll do whatever it's gonna wanna do. Out here, like I said, we are known for bell peppers, so we have tons of bell pepper plants. Again, I don't know what it is, if it's the weather or maybe something else, but this year our pepper plants are growing incredibly slow. The ones up in the hoop house are doing great, but everywhere else, not so much. And we've had a decent amount of rain, but not an overabundance of rain either. So not exactly sure what to do with that. We'll give it some more time. I'm sure they'll be fine. But usually by this time of the year, we're starting to get some pretty decent pepper growth. So usually something at least the size of a golf ball, if not a little bit larger. So hopefully that doesn't mean that we're gonna run into an issue moving forward. But other than that, we'll keep you guys posted. So this was an area that last year we didn't have anything growing in it because we had grown. So this space here was one that we didn't have anything growing in last year. And because of that, it kind of didn't get cleaned out real well with all the leaves. But the reason why was we had tomatoes growing in it for 2 years straight. They'd done really well. And we wanted to let that area kind of recover a little bit before we planted in it. So we gave it a year break, which is something really important when you are a gardener or when you're a homesteader. Yes, you can supplement the soil with lots of nutrients, but at the same time, it's best to let some spaces have a year to fully recover. Unless you're doing like super expensive, very analytical exams on your soil and testing on your soil, you're not gonna see all of the different nutrient levels with 100% accuracy across the entire area. So it's nice just to let it have a break and let everything recover. And of course, that then brings us back here to the back, which we're still working on getting cleaned up. We have some projects going on. We have more pumpkin plants back here that are just for us. We have some watermelons that we just planted. Those kind of just popped up a couple of days ago. They're doing great. And overall, I gotta say, we're pretty excited for the year. I think we're gonna have a good season. Our other blueberry bushes back here are doing great. which brings up another thing. If you ever purchase one of these style greenhouses, don't plan on them lasting a long time and planting around them, because this is what happens. So I don't know. I kind of had a dream of getting plywood and making that into like a playhouse for the kids or something. We'll see. The frame and the structure is still pretty good. Purchasing new panels for it is extremely expensive, just to replace them with what they have. And again, we only had a couple years, 3 years, maybe 4 years of luck. There is a video of us installing it, or a couple of videos, so check that out if you want to see. But otherwise, it's doing okay. Amelia's out here doing some kind of wacky dance.
Son, watching a dog.
Looks like was eating our rhubarb.
He's eating grass.
Well, now he is.
Oh God, he's gonna pull him in.
Yeah.
Oh, pulled a little leg.
Bernie, come on, boy.
I start recording.
Yep. All right. I think the video's done.
I need your snacky.
You say bye, Bernie. That was you.
I'm a dog. Oh, my face stinks. Oh.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for checking out our video. As always, please consider subscribing. Check out our other videos, share our videos, whatever you can do to help our channel grow. Amelia and I, we're throwing a big celebration once we hit 1,000 subscribers, which we are so close to. I want to say, as of the recording of this video, we have like 650, and we've gone up by about 120 to 150 a month. So we're definitely going to hit it before the end of summer.
Would you please early just the oxen?
All right, guys. Well, thank you, and we'll see you in the next video.